Alright, so as we begin chapter 8, we are going to get back to some solving of equations. But this time, we're going to solve equations and we're going to throw everything at it. Now, this is a review section, so it's going to go pretty quick. The trick is, on this section, that if you have an equation that has a fraction or a decimal in it, just to make it easier on ourselves, we want to get rid of that. For example, if I had the equation 4.2x equals negative 52.5, we could just divide both sides by 4.2. But sometimes that makes it a little bit more difficult to work with, especially if you're working with obnoxious decimals. But in this case, what I could do is I could take the entire equation and multiply it by 10. And when I do that, multiplying 4.2x by 10 just gives me 42x. Multiplying negative 52.5 gives me negative 525. So now I can just divide by 42, and it makes it really simple to figure that out. So of course, if we do that, we'll end up getting that x is equal to negative 12.5. And we can plug that back in for x and find out that that is in fact the right answer. In the case where I have fractions in an equation, like if I have negative 3/5 x equals negative 6/25, in this case, I find it easier not to deal with the fraction, of course, but to get rid of it. So I'm going to multiply by the least common denominator. And the least common denominator in this case is 25. When I multiply 25 to negative 3x, I end up with negative 15x. When I multiply 25 to negative 6/25, I get negative 6. Now here I'll divide by negative 15. So those will cancel out. But negative 15 doesn't go into negative 6. We know the negative signs will cancel out, but we can't do anything else. So what we actually end up doing is just reducing it. We do not want to put this into a decimal. We want to keep it as a fraction, and 6/15 reduces down to 2/5. And that makes that easy to do that. And that's really all this is about. It's multiplying by powers of 10 to get rid of decimals, multiplying by the least common denominator to get rid of fractions. The big thing you should know is that if an equation starts with decimals, it needs to have its answer. Its solution should be in decimal. If an equation has a fraction, its solution should have a fraction. That's all I'm going to give you for tonight. We'll see you in class and go from there. See you in class.